There it is. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm laughing because I started the recording, then I couldn't see it was recording, then I stopped it and I've started it again. So, and as you know, the way I record is just let it flow. So good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. And I'm saying good afternoon, but my guest today is in Tucson, Arizona, and her name is Bollinger McQuaid, and she is an author. And today she is going to speak to us about her spiritual journey, but from a native perspective, because she was born into that. And this is great because the Creator created all of us, wherever we are, all over the world. And we're all going through this different journey, but it's one Creator, one love, and it's one unity that we're waking up to. So without much ado, hello, Anne. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm very now. I always like to say, what is the time difference? Because I like people to know, because I'm in the afternoon here, and it's about 4:15 in the afternoon. What is the time where you are?
It's 9 a.m. here, and you're ahead of us. So you're
Yes,
further into the day. Yes.
that's right. So we're looking at 7 hours. Oh,
Yes, we
ouch.
are. Ours. I know.
Okay, so good morning.
Good. It is good morning. Good afternoon. That
So,
says
Anne,
something. Yeah.
yeah, I know it's something to laugh at. Because time difference, different sides of the world, but we're speaking right here, right now. There's no
Yes.
lag.
Yes.
9 o'clock in the morning here, 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, yet we're speaking one to one. Do you see? So when we look at things in the quantum side, it makes us really start to understand.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to hand it over to you because I'm looking forward to this, because you were born into the native Indian side. So let's hear about your journey of connecting to your spirituality. I hand it over to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so what I would like people to know is, because I was born into a family, did not live on a reservation, but we have Native American ancestors. So we have just looked at the world. I didn't realize that. Looked at the world as all interconnected, safer than we realize, because we are interacting with the universe at all time. So that was natural to me. My father saw clouds, images in clouds, and could interpret them. So I've always done that. So it's always been very natural to me. So I had, as a child, we did that. It was like play. Then as I grew into further and further into life, taking that with me, I realized there was more to it than that. That because the world is interacting all the time, I realized it was designed to respond to our needs. It's not randomly acting. It is designed to respond to our needs. And I'm a researcher. I'm a studier. I like to look at other cultures. Like to look at spirituality and intuition and all of that. And at some point, I I'd been gathering stories. I'd been gathering, in the book, we have 175 accounts of how people were interacting with the universe, how the universe was responding to their needs. So I figured out a formula to help us all decode what we're seeing and put it into a framework, so that sometimes people like to use the word woo woo about spiritual things. If we look at it, if we look at
Yes.
it, yeah, and go ahead. I like that too. I like to go all the different ways. But for those that really need structure, that cannot go, I intuited this, whatever. Start to pay attention and make notes. I'll give you the formula. The formula is, for personal oracles, is a need plus a delivery system plus a message equals a personal oracle. So need plus a delivery system plus the message is a personal oracle. You start to notice all these things that I was seeing, a cloud that had a meaning. And I'm going to jump to an example now that, of course, happened further, but this is an important image. I'm going to put it up here and see. Wait, where can your people? Can you
Lift it
see?
up. No, lift it up, up, up.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we can see it. Now we can see
Okay,
it.
this is real. You know, we're living in a world of generated fake stuff. Does anybody see well, do all of us see a cloud with a thumbs up? There's the over.
Yes,
What?
yes.
Okay, look. Okay, so it's thumbs up. If you turn it, it's also, whoops, I'm directionally challenged. Thumbs down. Look at that.
Well,
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs
actually,
down.
no. This one is thumbs down. This one is thumbs down. And if you turn it the other way, that's thumbs up.
Okay, so this happened to me. I didn't just see it, but I was working on something, and I was thinking, should I continue this or should I just go in another direction? And I was taking a break, and we at that point lived in the mountains of New Mexico, and I went out on the porch and just was taking a breath, and I looked up, and this is what I took a photo of, and we all saw the thumbs up, and it was continue. Now and so I use it. That is on my website. I'd like everybody to use it that wants to use it. It's how the universe, that's a very precise one, but we can get things that are much more, take some decoding to them to figure out, but that was just a matter of fact. That's what it was. So when we look at the universe with that through the framework that I just described, it's grounded. It's not float. I mean, it's all that. I mean, hey, who doesn't like to float up with all the magic in the world? But it's a very practical, grounded way that the world is designed to respond to our needs. And then I kind of skipped over my childhood because I wanted to get directly into how people, if this is something that makes sense and draws anyone to it, the trick is to start to make notes. If you can take a photograph, take a photograph. If you can make a note on anything, we all carry our cell phones so much. There's a place that we can make notes on our cell phone. We can record it on our audio on our cell phone. Any way that we do it, and then we collect our own body of evidence. It's not well, it is until we put it all together. If it's on pieces of paper, I like to talk about a sticker note shoebox method, where if say you're in a restaurant and something happens that there's more to it than what you can see, and you want to figure out what that is and decode it. I'm being playful here because I like to be playful. Don't write it on a cloth napkin. Let's not go pinching cloth napkins. I'm not suggesting that. But if there's like a piece of paper, anything, a paper napkin, and then tuck it away and take it home and put it in. I like to call it the sticker note shoebox method. So that's pretending that we're putting it all in shoe boxes. Put it in anything. Yes, I'd love for you to. Yes.
Yeah, let me stop you there, because this is right. But I want to go back, and I tell you why. Because you're giving us a method of what we can do and how we can recognize it.
Right.
But a lot of people who are going through things, and sometimes not some, that need to know the beginning of your journey.
Okay, I have
there, because there are people out there who are suffering and hiding. And I don't want them to hide. I want them to realize they're normal.
I want that too.
I want you to go into your childhood. What you did, because as much as it's from a native Indian perspective, some of that can be seen in other childhood's perspective, and we don't have to cover up, and we can then recognize, oh, I'm normal. So let's go back into your childhood to say when you became aware, or what made you become aware, what you went through to make you become aware of that spiritual side that started to show to you.
Thank you. I'll go way back, and I'll go back to when I was a little girl and my mother had her hair done all the time, and I would go with her. And yeah, I don't know if it's in the UK, but I think it is in the United States. There's a magazine that still exists, and it highlights for children. And if you thumb through that magazine, you will see a page with with images that you discover, that you want to discover. And so every 2 weeks when my mother went, I sat over there quietly and I would try to figure out where they all were. That then made me so curious to see how the world was working. So I say that fueled that fueled my curiosity. It kept me curious. It made me want to look around and see what was going on. A key point that really you were asking for something that is a key point in me. And I will say that when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which of course I was not a child, but I was in my late 30s, and I had an intuition that said, get a mammogram, and I followed it, and it was minuscule, and I had a lumpectomy and it was gone. That's the turning point, that the things in my childhood all pointed in this direction. I don't have a place where I am really blessed to feel. I felt connected from the moment that the moment that I came out, just because I didn't. Okay, my part of feeling different from people is because a lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people didn't see my perspective. I've been accused of being. um I had someone tell me that my best and worst quality was the same thing. I'm so positive. I'm so optimistic. So I came in with my mind has, because I'm trying to go into myself and reveal myself as much as I can do. I've got something to chip it, because I've looked at it, am I really being, when not now, because I know I am, but I would look at that and go, is it real? I've got a friend that's an astrologer, and she really did not believe. I'm astrologically wired to have certain things meet with other astrological, like Pisces, and I can't think what the other one is now, but certain things align to me to give me this. So I didn't go through that. What I've gone through is that people not identifying with it and not believing it. And so then what my journey, you're talking about people who feel lost and don't fit. My journey has been to know when to be quiet and when to speak up, to know when to listen to what other people have to say, and know that this is not anything that they could hear. So I haven't really felt. I got married very young. I got married I got pregnant at 15 and had a little boy, and 9 months later I had another little boy. So I've been on a really interesting journey of kind of aloneness, like you're talking about, where when you're that young, you don't really fit in to the other parents that much. So I do have different layers of things where I do feel very separate and I do not fit. And so for me personally, it's just a matter of knowing when to speak up and when to be quiet, because that's just, you're asking personal. I'm trying to find things in me that will be helpful.
Okay, so let me just recap. When you were younger, you were very optimistic and you were very a positive person, but people saw this as not such a good thing in you. Am I correct?
Or fake. I think it's hard to believe when somebody, not such a good thing, and fake. Yeah.
Sorry, because I said at the beginning, the internet can be a bit wobbly and sometimes you cut out. So I just want to make sure everybody can hear that. So it was a question of being optimistic or very positive, and people looked at you as sometime that you're not real, you're fake, you're just making things up.
Yes, head in the sand. Yeah.
Was I right in probably perceiving that when you were young, there were things you would say that would come to pass, and people will look at you that it's just one of those things?
Well, I'm not, if that's psychic, I'm not someone going around being psychic, like
Yeah,
I can't foresee someone, if that's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no.
hearing. Yeah, I can't foresee someone's future. I think what they were seeing, this is what I feel like, they were looking at me going, she just doesn't get it. She just isn't looking at the whole thing. She's got her head in the sand. Pollyanna, things like that.
You were seeing it in a different way from them.
Very, yeah,
Therefore, and because you were seeing it in a different way, because you were wired in a different way,
yes.
your perspective was different. They couldn't understand what you were seeing. Is that right?
Exactly. Very well stated. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all, and I love the point. We're all wired in
yeah,
the way
yeah. And
I
course,
believe we're on a
because
life path.
as a child coming in, and most children are still connected, as they go along, they see things, they say it, and it can cause them problems. So then, as you said, you've had to learn to keep quiet,
Yep.
and just speak when you think it's necessary to speak. Other than that, whatever you see, you realize not to speak about it.
Yeah. Yes. And you bring up an interesting point, not to speak about things. I think sometimes this is a point I'd love to share for me anyway. When we share things that are going to land on deaf ears or whatever, it's knowing when to say it. It almost is like throwing a gourmet food in garbage, because when we have something very precious, and we have something very, very precious, and somebody else goes, "Bleh,"
Yeah,
so that's a discernment. I think that I certainly have spent enough
yeah,
of my time
yeah,
realizing. Yeah,
yeah.
just
They're not understanding what you're seeing, and what
yeah,
you're
and
seeing
it's
is probably
yeah,
such a jewel, but they
yeah.
can't comprehend it.
And
So
so keep
you
it,
stay quiet.
keep it, and then share it when we meet those people that are, ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
When we meet people, we either feel like we knew, or we know we're on the same
yeah,
length and we're safe, kindred spirits.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand you. So at 15, you became pregnant, and then very shortly afterwards, you
Yeah,
became pregnant.
very.
So there was you probably at 16 with going to 17 with these two children. So I I can't imagine how people used to react, or how you were treated, and how that made you feel. And how did that affect you spiritually, inwardly?
Oh, that's good. I love the questions you're asking. Um, yes, and then a little girl. I had a little girl. I have three children within 5 years. So I was so tuned into being a mommy that my focus was on being a mommy. So, and I didn't go out as much because I was a mommy. So my world at that point revolved around
Mhm.
that. Uh, I'll put something in here about if we're stuck in something like that. And I know mothers, we talk with mothers a lot, that, mm, all the pressures of being a mom, all the, all the energy that it takes to be a mom, all of the things that all mothers share right now. I understand online. I don't get online, but I understand there's mom shaming now, which was not going on then. But I think when, I was in this kind of a little isolated bubble for quite a while,
Mhm.
and I am just so, the people that I met were kind. I didn't, or maybe I was oblivious. Maybe I have some sort of, maybe I just don't see the people that are, at that point, we're talking about that point. Maybe I just didn't get it, that they were going, what, people were kind to us. Let's just say sympathetic, empathetic, and probably feeling sorry, because I did marry their father. So not Kenneth Francis McQuaid, the love of my life, that is my
Yeah.
husband for all these years now, but we did marry. So we had this little family unit. We kind of went around in a little family unit. And I think there are probably some people that are going to hear this that are doing that. And there is a comfort and a loneliness in that, because it's harder to connect out when you have, which is, I think, what we're talking out deeper. I could go, but to go out. So I wasn't really trying to connect with people on a spiritual level as much. I was just putting all my energy into that. And because reading is such a, uh, life affirming, whatever we read. I'm a real researcher. So even though I was in a little pocket, for those of you that feel like you're kind of in a little pocket, when something comes across your path that is a book that's really, really good, there's so much that we can do, even when we're in these people that we've talked about that are feeling isolated and alone right now and don't fit in. Let's go into, right now we are so categorized into groups that quantify us, the non-binary, the gays, all this. And I feel like that's a lonely place to be unless you find your kindred spirits that we're talking about.
Yes, you do need to find just kindred spirits, because, as I said, because the platform I'm giving you is so that people can share what they've gone through, what they've been through, and how they got here, and to those who are watching, realize this is me.
Exactly.
This is, I can connect with that. I can realize that. I can see when I was smaller what happened to me and what's been going on. And as you said, when you were smaller, you saw things from a different perspective. And when you voiced that out, you were looked at in a way and verbally probably told, you're weird, or what's wrong, are you okay? And you were fine. And a lot of us have probably gone through that in that way, and so we've had to learn, as you had to, how to speak and when not to speak. And then as a teenager having 3 children within 5 years, you're in that bubble. You haven't got time to go out, but it made you to stay in your bubble, concentrate that, but in your quiet space, I suppose, look deeper and go deeper. And am I right in saying through that it's guided you in those times that you needed?
100%. And I think that that's the thing about I believe we all, like we said a second ago, I believe we're all on our own life path. They're beautiful. Some of them intersect with each other, some don't. But I think that whatever our core is, and now I've trying to broaden it out a little bit, whatever our core is, whether it is spirituality, whether it's that little prayer that a lot of people said when I was little, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep, those things that we can pull back into and find security in, and know that we are grounded within ourselves. And then here come me saying kindred spirits again. As we start to get out, we start to recognize people that are like us. And we're talking about spirit here primarily, but I'm going to go back in to the non-binaries, the gays, the people that are choosing their own path because it's theirs and it's real and it's as valid as anybody else's. But to be brave enough and to have courage enough for those people that are going through even danger right now. There's a lot of danger in our world of people who will actually attack people who do not fit whatever their little narrow perspective is. And I think to know that we are all in this together is a little bit of, if we could look and see how beautiful it is that we all are so different. But I took a quantum leap there. I think when you're alone and you're feeling lonely, I do want to, and this doesn't really tie in, but you're so good at bringing it all together. When my kids were little, I stayed in so much I'm sure it was a chemical response to maybe the last child, but I didn't even want to go out. And there's a name for it. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to go out. I felt like I couldn't go out. Now there is a name and I wish I could think of it right now.
I think sometimes they call it postnatal depression.
Yeah, and it was even deeper than it was that and more.
So it's
exactly. So all the chemicals that we're going through. So, and then, I'm going to pop into a little area right now to try to expand that as chemicals were going through my body in this day that we live in, where chemicals are going through our bodies all the time that we know and don't know that we're putting into it. No wonder we sometimes just feel scattered and like, a hodgepodge of, yes, I think we are all in the core. I feel like we are all going through really similar, I'm going to call them traumas, all
Yeah.
the time in our life, and finding a place where there is peace, and
Yeah.
or at least if not peace, a place that you can hold on to till you get to the place of peace.
And when you, as you're going through your life with your children and the traumas, and you needed to get to that place of peace, how did you do it?
Well, again, remember, I come from that core of I'm really blessed with the base. I came in with the base. I came in with the perspective that I don't have to think about it. It's there. Here's a little teeny bit of that I think will make sense right here. Things in my family. When my uncle passed, who was a Methodist minister, he would be there after he was out of his body, out of his, I like to call it a birthday suit. When we're out of our birthday suit, we're spirits having a human experience, or humans having a spirit experience, but we are in a birthday. Look, this is a birthday suit, guys. We're all in our birthday suit. But this immortal soul of our being, he stuck around, and he'd be with different family if it was a holiday or whatever, and we'd see him as a cardinal would come by. It would be if a family was in the hospital, it would be Kansas in the winter, which is brutally cold. On the windowsill, there'd be a cardinal, and that was Uncle Herb. So I had things like that really grounded me in that, knowing there's so much more than we realize.
Yeah.
So much more.
Now, you said that, because you just said your uncle who was in the church, and yet at the beginning you did say you have this Native American connection. How did that come? Because you had an uncle in the church, yet you've got this Native American way of looking at things.
Interesting question. It's called selective. It's called a selective way of looking at the world. Like, I think that maybe what you're saying about being in the church, you have to adhere to everything that the church says, or believe in it, or whatever it is. So I think that those two are very compatible. It never seemed to not be cohesive to listen to what was going on in the church. I remember parts of religion that I would hear it and think, to a child, it was a game. I'm speaking very personally. My uncle would lead a Wednesday night prayer meeting, and we'd all sing, and we'd all do all this. And man, I love that, of course, what my spirit's like. So we all did that. And then they'd say, anybody that wants to walk up and be saved. I'm 7, 8, 9. If you want to be saved, and I didn't ever feel like I needed to be saved. That doesn't fit into but I've got a really strong way that I feel is me. But I'd go up because I wanted that energy, I guess. So I guess that my rational mind does not make everything fit like with a little bow. We'll take a piece from this, and I would like to recommend this to all of us. Take a piece from here, a piece from there. What resonates with your soul? What things things that are happening speak to you? Let the others go. Let them speak to the people that it speaks to. But if it's not speaking to you, let somebody else hear it and get what that message is.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying, because there are so many different perspectives, and we're all here at this time for different reasons, and we are of one creation, and we are an extension of that creation, and therefore it is how we're going to recognize that creation within us, connect to it, so that we can be that soul, that's unconditional love, that sees things from a deeper place, and that understands that we're all going through our own journey, and that some of us are fighting with that, struggling with that, challenged by that. And it is this
100%.
journey that we connect back to our source, which is we are there, but to, not should I say so much connect, but to recognize, to remember that we are that connection, so that we can bring that out and be that one.
I love that.
So as you've come through and you've got that connection, I take it from your childhood with Native American things. So obviously somebody in your family was Native American. Am I correct?
It's my paternal side. It's my father, and so his brother is the minister. So and again, we didn't like live on a reservation. It's like it's my grandmother. I think it's my great grandmother. I am really sorry if you're hearing we've got a dog. Her name's Pandora. She's with me on all of the interviews, and I think she's loving what we're talking about. But can you hear her? And maybe some of you can see her. She sits through them and loves it. I think she's loving. And I apologize because she has not done this before, but I think maybe Spirit's so strong right now.
Yeah.
That she's yeah, it is. Yeah.
So with that Native American on one side of your family, and then which is through your father, and then you've got your mother, and then you're traveling through that. Now you've had your children, you've reached 20 or 30, and then you've had to face this cancer.
Yep.
And cancer is anger. On the spiritual level, it's anger. And so how did you face that, and how did you overcome that with your spiritual journey, through your spiritual journey?
Well, and the beauty of that is I did, and for me, I think it's anger. I also have my mother had cancer all over her body, and I bet you're right. That could be that she was not. You wouldn't know she was an angry person, but I look at dis-ease as so I think it's both. But all of what we're saying here, it's disease, and you don't have a way to get it out, and so. Right. Maybe for me, looking at it through this lens, what happened was when I had that my intuition, the voice said to me, or spirit said to me, go get a mammogram. And when I went, it was minuscule. They did a lumpectomy. They just took it out. Well, they first off did a mammogram. They took it out. So that's interesting to look at it through this perspective. I haven't looked at this before, but that was removed.
Yeah,
that cancer was removed because I listened, I acted on it, and that to me again is the universe protecting us. I give that back to the design of the personal oracles, Anita delivery system, and message that was get it out, get the anger out. Yeah,
because as you said. And I said it was anger, and as you said, the dis-ease, which is because we are spiritual beings. Exactly. Everything starts on a spiritual level, and when there's an imbalance, it manifests on a physical side.
You bet. You bet.
Or whatever, inflammation. It goes all different things. So when you remove the physical side, there was something within the spiritual side that needed to be. Was probably corrected, but that needed that physical thing just to clean it up. So,
yeah. And so, also, if I could, and then I want you to jump right back in. But also that verified what I was realizing about personal oracles. The universe is designed to respond to my needs. There it was, responding to my needs. It was a validation for me. It was all kinds of things. It was a validation. It was a removal of anger. It was all of that. So I think it's beautiful. I think what you're doing is to look at everything and see what are the gifts here that they don't look like gifts. Mm-hmm. What we're going through a lot of times does not look like a gift, but it is.
Yeah, it's for us to stop and go within.
Yes.
Connect and realize what is going on, and that we are capable of correcting that imbalance. And it's realizing that we are this spiritual force, being of one with the Creator, and having to connect and recognize that. And I know in the Indian the Red Indian side, they see this, the creators, that white spirit, that's that spirit that's all encompassing, and they connect with that so much.
Yes.
And I could see that when you then progress to being that aware and taking that picture in the clouds, where when you see it one way, it's a thumbs up, and when you turn the picture the other way, it's the thumbs down.
Guidance.
That was some recognition of something you were doing, and at the time, and a realization. What was going on in your life at the time when you took that picture?
Well, I was developing all the work that I'm doing now. I was gathering stories from people of how they had experienced the support of the universe in all kinds of different ways, life-saving ways, fine-tuning ways. I'm going to give you a couple of you know about that as a, go ahead. Were you?
No.
I was gathering I was gathering stories that went from a doctor whose name's Alan Hamilton, who has books out, The Scalpel and the Soul, and he has a story, an account of when he was a brain surgeon, when he was going into work, and he to perform brain surgery on, of course, a very specific person at a very specific time, and he saw dead birds, not birds, carcass. It was a carcass on the road and birds that were eating it right on the road that he had to go around it. He went to the hospital. He canceled the surgery because he went, wait, the universe just showed me not to go ahead with the surgery. The rest of that story is what the man that he was going to do the brain surgery on had heart issues. During the exact time that he would have been doing the surgery, the man went through a heart issue that he would not have survived. Now that is an extreme one. But when we get that tuned in to say, wait a minute, something's going on here. And then you go, okay, wait, that's bigger than me. That's not my imagination. We start to live in a world where it's scary in some ways, but comfortable in others, because we know that. Or it might even be as gentle as one of the stories that I've been gathering that are in the book is these guy buddies were going to go out and they were going to go parachute driving, and they were not driving, dropping out of a plane. And one was not going to go. He's like, I'm just going to watch. And they had the radio on in the car, and the song that played had in it, I don't remember, but it's like, jump, just jump. He jumped. Now that's a fun one. That's just saying he heard a song, something in him clicked. But, that's what I was doing. I was gathering all of these stories together, and I knew that they were headed somewhere. I didn't know for sure what. I didn't know at that point whether it would be, well, I knew I wanted to be headed toward a book, but I had no idea how these would all come together. And then Spirit, of course, guided the way on that. But yeah, that's what I was doing when the thumbs up came. But I think that those signs they're tailor-made, of course, to all of us, and I would love to put one thing in here. I think we might be getting kind of toward the end. Cameras right now, and I think a lot of people pay attention to have gotten things on their camera, an image that is a non-visible light frequency. Mm-hmm. And just know, if you are getting those, that the camera lens is designed to see things the eyes are not designed to see. So there's more going on levels that we cannot see. But if we take a photo with our camera and we see it, investigate it. Because there's non-visible light frequencies all around us, and there's a whole world around us that is not visible to the naked eye, that's supporting us or interacting. And I like to again thank God that we don't see it. No. With our naked, because it's almost like some beautiful safe space that we're in. Because can you imagine, we've been dealing a little bit with technology this morning to just be with all of you, but can you imagine if you were dealing with technology and your whatever, and then you've got all this. But if you pay attention, you may be getting some you'll get something that you're supposed to get if you take a photo with your camera through that lens. Yeah.
Actually, I know somebody did that to me some years ago, and there was something in that lens. You're speaking about it now, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself again, because I am very much aware of the energy around us, our own aura, but not just our own aura, but the energy that's around us, the beings that are there with us all the time, and that we don't. But we're now beginning to realize, because we're speaking this out more and more, so people are awakening to they're a spiritual being with a physical body, having a human experience. They are energy, and everything is energy. And science has now said everything is energy. The table, as you hear me knocking, is just vibrating at a certain frequency to make it solid. Revibrate it, it disappears, because the vibration then breaks up those solid so-called molecules, whatever, and they're just energy. And everything is energy, just vibrating at different frequencies.
Yes. It's fascinating. We're so lucky to be. I mean, I know what's going on in the world. Don't worry. I know. I'm not. But we're so lucky to be alive right now. Those of us that are curious to see about what we're talking about today, that wait, there's more, and it's supporting us instead of all we ever hear on the news is, and I know it's not just the US, it's universal. We just had our niece and nephew from England here, and they were talking about bringing over some things that were, the UK is connected to so many other countries. The USA is so isolated, but anyway, it seems to be everywhere. All this is going on, but in the center of it is all this beautiful spirit for all of us.
Yes, it's the source, which we need to recognize. I keep on saying reconnect, and it is reconnected, because we are already part of it. We never became disentangled from it. We never became separated from it. What made us separate was our thoughts that we're on our own, when we're never on our own. It was an illusion put in us that we are this separate being, and we're not. We're part of the source itself. And so it's for us now to awaken to the fact that we are, and always have been, an extension of source. And the only thing that separated us was our thought that said we are separate, but we were never separate. And it is that awakening at this present time that is so exciting, and that we need to waken up to. So, and you're doing your book, you're creating your book, you did the oracles. Tell us a little bit more about the oracles, because I did stop you because I wanted to go back to the beginning to see what happened, why you came to this oracle, and what made you realize these things, that you are now creating this oracle and you've written books on it.
Yes, yes, I'd love to do that. And again, it's the framework. It's just an expansion of what you just said. It's a framework that we can look at. Personal oracles are a framework that we can look at and have. And I made a note here so that if it fit in today, I would talk about it. People talk about synchronicities, coincidences. That's common. I'm blessed to be invited on different interviews, and I was with someone named Mark Lanehart recently, was a military man who went through his own horrific journey with all of those things. So his perspective is very much what we're talking about, the synchronicities, the interconnections, how everything is interconnected, but you're going through a literal hell on earth. And so he came out with all that, but I'm giving you a little quick background. He has a very scientific, ordered mind. And he came up, when we were talking about personal oracles, I messed up the actual, sorry, that's my cell phone. I messed up the actual formula, and we went back to it later. I just said, oh, I'm so sorry, I messed it up. And we went back later, talked about other things, and came back. And at that point, he had come up with an acronym for it. Now, in his he automatically went to acronym. I said, oh, can I use it? And he went, yes, of course, it's yours. But I wanted to give him credit, Mark Lanehart. And it is NDM, Need Delivery System message. So NDM, if it helps to, it makes it simple. It just, if you're into acronyms, NDM is a personal oracle. It's the way they operate. So when we're looking around us and we're seeing things that have meaning for us, that show us that their spirit all around us, working with us, for us all the time. And the book and you might be able to see back there, I'm in my office in Tucson, and you see the cover of it back there. It's all blue. And so it was named, I'm sorry?
Everyday Oracles.
Everyday Oracles, and it was published by Tarcher Penguin, which is a major publisher. And when you take work to a publisher, they give you the name of the book. So I went with a whole different name. I was wrong. They were right. This is perfect. What they put, but it's like Everyday Oracles, and then the little subject is decoding the divine messages that are all around us. So what I like to do, decoding the divine messages that are all around us. Well, what I like to, is it good? You know what? Then lately I've started doing is it's a secret code. It is. It's like it's our own secret codes. So decoding the divine messages that are all around us, because they're tailor-made to each of us. Like I was with my husband we were driving to and from to a place, and we were in two different cars, and I had said to the universe, which I don't pray per se, but I'm in contact all the time with spirit. Yeah. I had just said, hey, safe journey, please, and that was just what I do. And so as we're driving along, I see this image, and it's a cloud of shape of a heart. And for 20 minutes, he's in front of me, I'm following. And Kenneth had said to me, do not take photos while you're driving. And I see the value in that. But we were on a strip of road where there was no way to have, it was a one-way thing. Well, it was just vacant. Anyway, I watched it. It stayed. Look, if a cloud stays, it's got something going on, because clouds are layers that go on, and so I watched it, and within about 20 minutes, and I did finally take a picture. I don't know if you can see it. I've never done this before. See that?
Yes, we see.
That's the cloud. Now look up at the top. See the pink at the very top above the eyes? That's non-visible light frequency. That what might show up in your phone. That's something else going on. So anyway, the rest of that story is that account right there is all of a sudden I heard a loud pop, and it was Kenneth's car, and it was the right back tire. And and we were at high speed. He just pulled safely to the side of the road. And I get out and I go, I go out and I go, oh did you see that cloud? Did you? And he did not see it. Now, Kenneth is an amazing spiritual man. And he's also a NASA engineer, or was. He's out of his body now. But he stayed close by. And at that point, he was in his body. He's all this tuned into all the spiritual stuff, because he was reading every word that I was writing, and I'd get the Englishman's opinion and perspective, which was really helpful. So anyway, I go, look, did you see it? Do you see it? And he went, what cloud? That I'm using that as an example because we have a photo here. Kenneth didn't see it. Kenneth's an amazingly spiritual man. That just says, everybody may not see it. If it's yours and you see it, don't let, and you might not get a picture so that you know that you did see it. But when you have personal oracles that happen to you, or special messages that you are decoding, the secret messages, trust yourself and write it down. Yeah.
And these personal oracles, they can come in clouds. They can come with somebody saying something.
Exactly.
With the music playing, and it's playing in your ears, and you're thinking, why am I playing this? Why am I playing? Or why am I hearing this? Why am I hearing this? And it's things for us to be aware, because it is our spiritual higher selves trying to connect and guide us.
Exactly, exactly. You could be in a grocery store and you hear you're pushing your cart along and you hear that and you know what's going on in your life is
Yeah.
connecting to that and it is not random. Yeah, and you like again birds that I used to have a shop years ago in California and I had little things people could buy and these women came in and we were sharing all these things and they said they had sisters. There was a group of sisters, and every time the sisters were together, they would have ladybugs come. That ladybugs are their mother's. The mother's not in her body. She could signal, "Hey, I'm here. I'm not in my birthday suit, but let's send some ladybugs over there." You name it. People are having, and you know what? I want to just invite anybody that's listening that wants to be, if you feel like maybe sharing something with a certain person and you think, why am I doing it? And you really feel, go ahead. Because chances are you may be with this kindred spirit and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that the more we share, you were talking about the way that your purpose is to share the things that we're going through and how valid they are for all of us. And I want to just say that the more we share, the stronger we get, the more validated everything is.
Yes. So true. So true. And this has been an interesting conversation. Now, you've written a book, and I can say Everyday Oracles. Do you have a website that people who are interested may want to connect with you? Have you got a newsletter?
Yes, we do.
Come on, talk, show yourself up, and let's see so we can.
Okay, here I got this. This is this is my business card actually, but I'm going to wait. Where am I? I can see myself two places right here.
No.
Okay, there.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
going to
yes.
I'm going to tell you what it is, but the website is everydayextradimensions.com.
Mm-hmm.
everydayextradimensions.com. I have a team of people working with me. I have women that I've worked with for 20 years, and there are five here. Let me get it closer here. I just got it close. Did that help?
Everyday Extra Dimensions.
everydayextradimensions.com. We also have, because of the team of women, there are five of us. We have two women that do social media. And social media is just my name. There's Instagram and Facebook, and it's Ann Bollinger McQuaid will get you on one. And we've got two different people that are really focused on contributing. There's fun stuff in there. It's fun. You can find stuff. The things we're talking about today that are like just fun. Listen, you'll even see our cat occasionally because people like animals. Not a lot, but Moon Boy is becoming a not star, semi-star. But we have that. So we've got, and then something that's coming that's not there yet, but keep an eye out for it. I own the domain name for Everyday Personal Cafe. It's Personal Oracle Cafes. So Personal Oracle Cafes may go onto our website, but it'll be a place to share. When we get that up and going, that's a place for all of us too. And we don't have it quantified exactly how, because it's going to be a room where we can share. We've got one person that is already on the team that's going to man and pay attention. But we want to be really careful because we just know that in today's world, you have to be technically careful with what you put out there. So that if you ever see Personal Oracle Cafes and you join on, you know you'll be safe. We'll make sure before we get it on that it's a safe place.
Okay.
So yeah, we're everywhere.
Okay. And as I said, that's the only book that you've written so far.
No, but we have one. I don't have a date yet, but I told you that my husband's body shut down. He has stayed with me. Kenneth has written a book with me, or I have written a book with him. I said, so what's my role in this after he's out of his body? He was a NASA scientist, so he wasn't sure he wouldn't pop into black when his body shut down. He had a major stroke, tried for 6 months to stay in his body and couldn't. But when he left, he stayed. And this frequency that you were talking about, it's electromagnetic frequency. If you feel tingling in your body, there's a book out by Mark Anthony that is the afterlife frequency. It's electromagnetic energy. So this book is Everyday Life Afterlife. Our series is every day. It's like, this is normal stuff. So every day, life after life. I don't know for sure what the rest of that's going to be. We haven't decided yet, but that'll come out in 26, and we'll be watch for it. We'll make sure that everybody knows when it's out and when it, but there is no death. There's only a change of dimension.
Thank you for saying that. And this is what I say to people. There is no death. We just change from one dimension to another. Everything's the same. Remember,
Exactly.
we're energy. Energy
We're
you can't see. And
we're
if
not
energy you also can't see us, but you see us because we're vibrating in this shell. Just as when you need to go to the moon, you can't go like this. You need a special suit to walk on the moon, to breathe on the moon. So on the earth, we need a special suit, which is this body. But when it's time to let it go, we are energy. Not necessarily you can see us, but we can form so you can. So there is no death.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually started to do a series about death, and then I stood back and I say, people ready for it, but no, I'm actually going to do it because it's time. We hear it, and we're not afraid, because a lot of things we do, we hold on to this life when we really should just let go. And we only hold on to it because we're afraid, because we think there's nothing else. Actually, there is, and we've probably lived many lives before. So, why live a life that the quality is bad? For what?
Yeah.
Let it go, and then come back when it's necessary, and not necessarily on this earth plane. There are many planes out there, so you don't still come back. But this is when our mind starts to open. But this is me, and I shouldn't go any further because I can do another talk on that. So, leave us with a gold nugget of encouragement for those who are listening.
Well, I just decided, based on what you said there, the gold nugget is, I used to say, until Kenneth's body shut down, I would say, we're safer than we realize. That just sounds more like Pollyanna. When Kenneth got out of his body and we're working together, and I got 60 documents into your photos and all, he said to me, based on we're safer than we realize, he edited that. We're ultimately safer than we realize. That goes back to what you were just saying. I just want everybody to know that from Kenneth and me, we are all ultimately safer than we realize.
I've written that down because, and if you don't mind me using it when I start to do my talk, because it resonates.
Use it.
We are so afraid of death.
Yes.
And through that, we are controlled.
Exactly. Fear factor.
We are controlled that, I don't want to die. Do this or that, and you do. You then let yourself down because you fear death. But we have seen death many times before, but we don't realize it because we've been made to feel separate when we are part of Source, which is eternal. I'm definitely because of you today, I'm definitely going to start that series.
And if you get on my website, you'll see those as you get on, you'll see what I just said. We're safer than we realize. That's the key thing. We're safer than we realize. We're ultimately safer than we realize. There is no death. There's only a change of frequency. So use it. Let's all use that. Let's all spread that. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to all of us.
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that series. And when I do, I'm going to ask you to come back to be on that series to talk about it.
It will be. I will look forward to
that conversation about death and not be afraid.
Oh, I would love it. And I just want anybody to know that is involved in the things that you and I are. I connected with you last night.
Oh, did you?
That it was just a sense of knowing. I really connected with you in a most beautiful way. I knew this felt like the softest, most wonderful energy to share. So I hope that some of you have had that feeling. I saw your picture and I had that in my mind. And then now to get to experience you, what a gift you are. Thank you.
No, thank you. And I'll say something. Last night, I was doing a lot of dreaming. And when we dream, we go on a different plane. And I can't remember what I dreamt, but I know it's quite a few things, but I knew some of it, none of it was horrible, but some of it's very nice. So I think I might have passed you by then, because I remember coming out and knowing that I touched on a lot of things, but it was nice.
I bet you. It was a cozy
nice.
feeling. It was. Well, we're
Yeah.
also
It was
yeah.
nice. It was like I was doing different things and I was touching on different things, but it was nice.
I love it. I love it.
And thank you so much. We shall connect again. And to
Yes,
all my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Anne held up her card. Listen out for the video on YouTube. I will post it. It won't be for another month or so, because it's got quite a few, as you know. But there will be write-ups, and you'll get with Anne and her connection, because it is about hearing. And if it resonates, you connect with those people and know that you're not alone. There is a big community out there, and we are ready to hold on, and we are rising, and we want as many of us to link and rise as well. There's no competition. We all have, even the dark side has to get there. So the universe is existentially big. There's so much. There is no competition. There's just love. So for now, to everybody, love you. Thank you. And love you. Thank you. Everybody, take care. Bye for now.
Love you all.